Episode 76, Boomer Guitar Sessions. This is Rod. Today, what we're going to do is talk about college and guitar. And this is going to be in the spirit of exchanging of ideas and exchanging of experiences and how we can make college better and more useful to college students, in my opinion, and it is only my opinion. This is just my life of how I experienced college, how I experienced learning, and both the good and the bad. I had great examples of learning. I had not so great examples of learning in colleges. And anyway, so what we're going to do today is we're just going to talk. I'm just going to talk, and it's kind of going to be freestyle about how do we make a better guitar curriculum for colleges? One that is both profitable for the colleges, because they have to think about their bottom line as well. Is it going to be something that people need? Are they fixing a problem? Is there a market for the things that we're talking about? Meaning, when the kids graduate from colleges, will there be jobs? Will there be opportunities for them to make a living? Whether, all those things we have to consider in 2024, as I'm sure college administrators and teachers and all that. And this is just an exchange of ideas, an exchange of my beliefs, and first understand that where I'm coming from, I've seen two different kinds of college of prototypes. The first prototype that I encountered was while I was still in high school, and this is what I would consider to be the conservatory prototype. And the conservatory prototype, when I was growing up, that took almost every college. There's probably a half a dozen colleges in the United States that didn't observe the conservatory approach to teaching. And what this meant is music of the past. We learn about music of the past. We learn how to recreate music of the past. We understand the music of the past. It is almost all orchestral based. Okay. It is, we're trying to do these past skills that people have and past art forms that people have. We're trying to keep the life going in the music of Bach, the music of Beethoven, the music of Berlioz, all that, Wagner, whoever it is, okay, to have some understanding of that, and also to somehow build future composers in the same style. Now, where my thoughts are, first of all, there will always be conservatories. And there should always be conservatories. All right. With that said, I think that lots of colleges and schools would be better preparing their students, especially guitar students, for more of a contemporary approach to music education. And if they offer their students this approach, there would be more excitement about it, because it you can put your personality into it. You can study it. There's all kinds of benefits. It's not just one style of music that we'd be studying, and we're not poo-pooing any kind of music in this study. So the thing that I propose, and I think it's a real easy idea to my way of thinking, the best musicians of the last maybe 50 years, that we'll say guitar players and bass players and drummers, some of the best of those were studio musicians. Now, think about the skill set that these studio musicians had. Okay, so they had an understanding of music theory. They had an understanding. They could listen. They listened and they put the right part to the right song. And lots of them created their own parts on the songs they played on. Probably maybe even a majority of them. Okay, so with that said, sure, you're going to have some guys that get all the studio gigs that require all the reading. Okay, but even they had improvisational skills that they brought to the table. One of the ones that comes to mind is Mr. Tommy Tedesco, who, if you don't know who Tommy Tedesco is, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, even into the 80s, he pioneered and was a part of the Los Angeles studio scene, and he made the sounds. He was multi-instrumentalist. He could read anything you put in front of him, but he could also create parts on the fly and sounds on the fly. He could create the thing that the producer wanted when the producer wasn't even able to say, this is what I want. That's the kind of musicianship Tommy Tedesco had. All right. So the idea here is, what are the things that these musicians had, these studio players? Okay, so guys like Steve Lukather, Larry Carlton, even on a lesser degree, Joe Pass was a studio musician. Glenn Campbell was a studio musician. Kaye was a legendary studio musician. All they had the reading ability, but more importantly, they had the improvisational ability. And equally as important, I guess, is their an idea and understanding of different styles of music. They weren't stuck to one style of music. Okay, so the learning curve for them was, we learn about all different kinds of music, and they had to, by working in the studio. They were jazz musicians, all of them without fail. Almost all of them had a jazz background. Even Tommy Tedesco. They had a jazz background, but they didn't use jazz to sound like jazz. Okay, they used jazz to be able to improvise the right part for whatever was needed in the track. Now, I think what a good way of being like stewards of music and learning. It's a lifetime pursuit that we're doing. We're trying to create the best parts for the songs that we have, whether the studio is the same as it was in 1975 or not. And we all know it isn't. But a studio approach to education would prepare you for any style of music, roughly. Okay, it would prepare you to problem solve. It would prepare you to musically adapt to any situation. And it would also prepare you to learn your basics of the music theory, of ear training, of reading music as well. All right. So it covers all those bases, and the ensembles that would be coming from this are coming from all different kinds of contemporary styles. All the way, I can see this as being something from the early jazz age to modern 2024 music. You can apply all of that stuff to this. So we can still listen to the past, we can still learn from the past, but the difference in our paradigm, our center of thought here, is we're not using the past to go back to the past. We're using the past because genius follows clues. All right. So we don't learn jazz so I can spend 6, 7, 8 years to replicate Barney Kessel's guitar tone and his approach to music. I'm using these things, so these are going to be words in my own vocabulary, and these are going to be tools in my own trick bag. Okay, along with this knowledge that we're learning, you get to listening skills. You want to add a broad musical knowledge. You can a history of the instrument that you're playing. It does not just have to be guitar, but it would be heavily involved in, as I see it, probably first the rhythm section instruments of guitar, bass, drums, keyboard, okay, piano. Start from that and then branch out, but also small ensemble playing. The skills that we need for small ensembles are different than skills we need for playing in orchestras. So that improvisation, the idea of self-editing, the idea of creating your own parts and creating your own hooks and creating the stuff that makes the song shine. These are all skills that colleges could help. It would help them greatly. Okay, and it would the demographic of people that you would apply this to, because culture or the music is so wide. The culture is going to be wide too. We're going to learn about all different kinds of music, and we have students coming from all different kind of cultural backgrounds. Okay, so and that interchange of ideas and sounds and all that kind of stuff, you imagine what you can do with it. Now, within the context of college, we can have performances, we can have music marketing classes, we can have we can have marketing in general could be a part of this. I think marketing should probably be a part of any music major in 2024. I don't think there's a way that you should get out of learning how to market, even if it's just marketing yourself, but marketing your ideas, marketing your music, marketing your band, marketing if you're a music educator, all that. So with that said, so what we would learn from in this kind of thing, just speaking from a guitar standpoint, was we take some of the skills from the history of the studio musician, and they're skills like reading and improvisation and styles and interpretation and lots of ensemble work, lots and lots of playing together, lots and lots of borrowing from ideas and repurposing ideas from all. As I said, genius follows clues. We can learn from all these players. People that I've listed in the written part of this, and Tommy Tedesco and Howard Roberts were the start of like the LA scene, kind of. When Joe Pass was in there, and Barney Kessel were also important parts of it. We had Harold Bradley, Hank Garland, Grady Martin of the Nashville scene, Carol Kaye, both as a guitar player and as an electric bass player, James Jamerson, Nile Rodgers, Larry Carlton, Lee Ritenour, and Steve Lukather. Many, many more. Tim Pierce should be added to that list. How to adapt to any musical situation, how to make your guitar playing, how to be valuable in any musical situation, whether it's a production, whether you're in production, whether you're in live performance, whether you're in a situation where you can record and be a session guy. Okay, if such a thing exists anymore, I'm not even sure. So what kind of things would we be learning? Well, we'd be learning music theory. We would be learning ear training. A lot of these musicians, they had great ears. Okay, you got to know what you're listening to, and you got to have lots of different experience. You need to have a history of modern music and contemporary music. When I say contemporary, I'm not just talking about stuff that has been in the last 10 years, but I'm also talking about contemporary, meaning the blues, jazz, country music, honky tonk, Motown, the difference between Motown, Muscle Shoals, and the Stax people, okay? The LA scene, the New York scene, the Chicago scene, all right? All these different musical approaches. Again, genius follows clues. We can learn from every one of them. We can work this in also the sight reading part of it. We can learn how to read music and fine-tune those skills. Just in general guitar organization, how the guitar works and how to put the musical theory practices to use on your instrument. Lots of performance ensembles, I said, and in recording technology, and songwriting and arranging, and all these different things are possibilities as things to make the program richer. So again, this is just in the spirit of exchange of ideas. Wouldn't it be cool? This would be the ideal kind of music education that people will get a lot out of. Okay, if you're starting and you want to make a career out of being a guitar player, okay, this is my opinion. You don't necessarily want to just be able to play one style of music, unless what you're going to do is start a YouTube page that just does that one style of music. You can specialize like that, I guess, and all you're going to do is specialize in the one thing. But for the rest of us who want to play and they want to write and we want to be able to make a living, perhaps outside of social media and the social thing, we want to play with people. We want to play music and create it. You're going to have lots of skills in the interpretive and in the improvisational. Again, self-editing skills that the jazz musicians had. They were able to tell you when to play softly, when not to play, the number of notes to play, the kind of notes, creating the hooks, making a song better, all those kinds of things. Colleges can have performances. You can have, as I said, the music marketing. music marketing end of it. You can have music production end of it. So anyway, so that is my idea about how do we improve the music education in colleges. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you take my ideas and do something with it and add your own part to it. Okay, so I think we can go way beyond the conservatory. I think that is, in my life, that has been one of the most agonizing systems of education that I can imagine. I would never put anyone else through it, to my way of thinking and to my what I'm interested in and my skill set and all that. I'm not meant to just play classical guitar. I'm not meant just to play jazz guitar. I'm meant to do other things, and so many other people are. Big audience out there. Anyway, this is Rod. Boomer Guitar Sessions. Think about it. If you have any ideas, if you disagree with me, you can say it in the comments. If you agree with me, say it in the comments. If you have any other stuff you'd like to share, put it all in the comments. Subscribe, like, share. Thank you. I appreciate you. See you next time. Hi, this is Rod from Boomer Guitar Sessions. I personally wanted to thank you for being part of our community. If you like what we're doing here and you want to see more of it, please hit the like, subscribe, and share. And this helps me spread my musical messages to all over the world. Thank you. I appreciate you. And always remember, you can do this.